Now we're going to be speaking live to Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nassir in a little short while. But first, our very own Olive with an explainer on muguka. Olive?
Thanks, Jeff. You heard there the Defense Cabinet Secretary, Aden Duale, speak about the effects of muguka. But first, what is muguka? For those just joining the conversation, we start there. And it is a stimulant from the same family as Mira or Kat, and both are scientifically known as Catha edulis. But what are the differences between the two? Mira and muguka share the active ingredients, which are cathine and cathinone, but consumers chew the shoot of Mira, but chew the leaves of muguka. Mira is predominantly grown in Meru County, while muguka, on the other hand, is predominantly grown in Embu. But the differences do not end there. We also have the amount of time it takes to harvest them, which could inform the difference in cost. And the time it takes to harvest Mira is 28 days, while the time it takes to harvest muguka is 7 days. So perhaps that is why Mira is costlier than muguka. But as for the potency, Mira is less potent than muguka. And why is that? That is because the shoots contain less of that cathine and cathonine, as compared to the leaves of muguka, and that is what makes muguka more potent. We get now to the effects that Aden Duale was speaking about. Delusions, loss of appetite, difficulty breathing, increased blood pressure and heart rate, liver damage and cardiac complications are the negative effects. Some may argue one of the positive effects is keeping them alert. Jeff?
Interesting. Okay, so joining us live from Mombasa County is Mombasa County Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nassir. Governor, if you can hear us, good to see you. Welcome to Sunday Live.
Asante sana. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Karibu, Governor. Real quick, what triggered this sudden fight against muguka, and why is it suddenly a crisis, Governor?
It's always been a crisis. It's just that everyone was always sweeping it under the carpets, but it's always been a crisis. I raised this matter when I was a Member of Parliament in 2020. I talked about it. 2 months after being sworn in, I did call in the traders and pleaded with them that they need to be able to do something. 30% of those who are consuming muguka in Mombasa right now, less than 18 years. Those who are consuming and they're in their 20s started consuming this product then when they were less than 18 as well. It's not something that is unique. It is not something that is new. It's just that now is the time that someone had to say enough is enough. 2 months after being sworn in, I called in the traders, tried to plead with them. About a couple of months ago, tried to do the same thing. It's a product that is so cheap, so easily available. You talk to people, they still insist on selling to the young people, taking advantage of people out there. And it's really unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate that you now have, and I was just looking at some of the leaders on the other side, instead of them trying to figure out what the problem is, then they try and rubbish our assertions on how much this is truly a problem. We did our own research. About 11,000 children were interviewed in Mombasa. 11,000 girls and 11,000 boys from primary, secondary, tertiary levels. Just trying to figure out what is the reason, listening to children themselves, what is the reason as to why education levels are becoming a hindrance. Of course, there are very many factors. But guess what? One of the factors that is there is when a child tells you, muguka is right outside my school gate. You try and tell these guys, we really, really tried. When the reason why they say no to it is because 30% of their market is actually that. And I just want to put this into perspective as well, that yes, there's the argument on the other side. And I said this when I was a member of parliament, I'm saying it now.
Before you get into that, Governor, Olive Burrows here, before you get into that, Governor, before we move too far along, there was a reaction from leaders of the northeastern. They have taken your side on this issue. Do you welcome that?
Well, it's not my side. It's the side of the people. We're being affected. Ultimately, we don't speak on behalf of our own selves. When I signed this particular executive order, many people told me that, you know, this is going to be your political deathbed. And I'm going to repeat the words that I said during the Madaraka Day celebrations. I'd rather die standing than, live when I'm on my knees. Someone had to do something. Something has to be done. And you see the ripple effect of all this. It's Kilifi has been conversing about this matter for a very, very long time. It's been a problem in Kwale, it's a problem in Lamu, it's a problem in Tana River, it's a problem in Taita. A couple of days ago, I was with the governor of Taita in a very, very remote part of Taita. And the mothers in those remote areas as well are crying about this matter. The northeastern leaders right now are coming out. And by the way, it's not even going to stop there. This is really, really not going to stop there. And as say it the way you say it, others may look at it that this is a cash crop. We look at this in a different perspective and a different angle. We look at this as a social problem. We look at this as an economic problem on our part. We look at this as a health problem and a security problem as well.
Governor, real quick, why muguka and why not Mira or all the other drugs that are prevalent in your county?
Whatever I do based on research, based on facts. If you go right now to the Nakada Rehabilitation Center based in Meritin in Mombasa, you go to the Portrees Hospital, you go to Reach Out Rehabilitation, Mewa Rehab Center, Mombasa Women Network, all of these centers have one thing in common. This common stereotype out there, that we're nothing else except our youth are just drugged on heroin and everything else. Guess what? Muguka is swiftly overtaken. And I want to repeat this to make this very, very clear. We are not going to be a county or a region that is going to be known that our children can do nothing else except to be addicts, whether it is an addict of heroin or it is an addict of muguka. This is not what I subscribed to. I subscribe to make Mombasa better. In return, this has ended up being a matter that is now the whole region is in agreement, and the country at large as well is in agreement. You look at it again, that this is a livelihood for your people, but I don't think it's fair and I don't think it is right that we have to be able to live in a situation where our destiny is to die so that someone else can be able to live.
Governor, speaking of the region, are you considering an approach similar to that of Kwale's? They have increased levies by up to 300,000 for muguka traders, for those who are supplying muguka to that county. Is that something you're considering? And you had called for a meeting with the president. Have you reached out?
The president did call. He reached out to myself. He reached out to the governor of Kilifi. He reached out to the other governors as well. Taita, I'm aware as well. We're waiting for the president to be able to call us in. Our stand remains that if we are going to be asked to sit down with Linturi, he is already biased. I mean, naturally, through his various sentiments and statements from when he was a member of parliament and when he was a senator, the fact that he actually went with the Embu delegation to there. And then if you go and start discussing this matter, that this is an agricultural issue, in our stand, this is not an agricultural issue. It's an agricultural issue from the producers. On the consumer side, this is a security matter. It's a health matter. It's economic matter when you're being told that 22 billion is the worth of this particular industry, and on an average 7 billion is what is being consumed in one county called Mombasa, that I happen to be the governor of.
So are you prepared to take measures similar to that of Kwale County?
Ourselves to be slaves.
Are you prepared to take measures similar to those taken by Kwale County?
Well, we do have. I mean, there's, for the first time in my life, I've been taken to court by 10 different parties on this matter. I'm expecting that by tomorrow and the day after, probably there'll be more. And coincidentally, whether by design, by default, by whatever it is that it's going to be, the only court that actually said that the ban needs to be lifted is the court from Embu. All the other courts say that no, status quo remains until the cases are heard and determined. And on our part, in our Finance Act, it's 6,000 shillings per bag of muguka, and or there was also going to be another charge, and we prefer that we're going to stick at 6,000 until this matter is going to be determined. At 6,000, if you calculate the amount per truck, and I'm assuming a truck carries about 300, kindly do deposit 1.8 million shillings so that we can be able to take our children. And by the way, I'd be better off without that 1.8 million shillings by any time.
Governor, bottom line, can you win this war against the cartels, against the mafia, against those who have been there for the longest time? Can you win this war against them? It looks like a losing battle.
Well, I have blessings from two entities. One of them is my parents, and that's what matters to me. The other is I have the blessings of the people who elected me to be their governor, and that's what matters. That is all that matters. And it is not an issue of whether we're going to win or we're going to lose, but I can assure you of one thing. Status quo is not going to remain. We refuse, and we insist on refusing to be categorized that we're a region of nothing else but zombies and a region of nothing else except people who are going to be addicts. We will change, and we will tell our story the way we want our story to be heard by our future generations. And it has to start from somewhere, and it's going to start from what we're doing right now. I'm going to repeat this again. Statistics are indicating that the bigger problem that we have currently is not even heroin, it is not even anything else. The biggest problem that we're having right now is muguka. And Jeff, allow me, because this is a common question that I hear being asked out there, that why you're not taking a similar stand on other hard drugs. Well, for starters, allow me just to be able to use this platform just to clear the air. For starters, I have no authority, I have no permission to be able to inspect those that are able to come in from foreign countries, whether by air, by sea, or any other means. I don't have the power to be able to control the anti-narcotics unit, but I do have the power for something that has been declared that it is legal in this country. I do have the power to be able to protect the people of Mombasa and future generations for that matter.
Governor Abdul Somad Sharif Nassir, good to see you, and good luck with your fight against muguka. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take a break now.
Yeah, so as we continue to keep our eye on that issue, keep your eye on Sunday Live. We'll be back on the other side of this break.
That's right. Keep tweeting at Kunenga Jeff.
At O'Burrows, at Citizen TV Kenya.
The hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back. In the meantime, coming up.